Welcome back, guys and gals. So today we're having a look at the Strathmore 200 series Bristol boards for sequential work, aka comics. So we're just gonna take a look, see how good it really is. I just knocked a micron off my desk. That type of stuff happens all the time, and but we're just gonna talk about some stuff we're gonna work with a little bit. I've got some Holbein black, my trusty crow quill here. We're just gonna kind of just start working on some stuff here.
Make the ground shake.
what do I think of the Strathmore 200? Well, what do I think about it? Well, compared to the 400 series, the 400 series definitely has a tougher surface. It doesn't tear up as much, but it's kind of negligible, to be honest with you. But the big difference comes with how the ink sits on the paper. With the 400 series, the ink sits on the surface of the paper a lot better than the 200. But the 200 does handle a wide variety of inks better than a lot of other papers do. You can use pretty much any ink on this paper. The only shortcoming on this paper compared to the 400 series is due to the way it's, it's kind of more absorbent. So the use of Copic markers, I wouldn't really recommend it. It can be done, but it doesn't have the most pleasing result compared to other Bristol boards out there. Like as always, I did like one of my typical, swatch sheets, and pretty much every ink performed on it. There was no bleeding across anything except for Sharpie, I guess. But everything else worked really well on it. And the one thing that I did run into on some of the boards is that waxiness that I complain about on Strathmore boards. I guess Strathmore boards have kind of a coating on them that makes them work so well with so many different inks, and it makes the ink sit so well on top of it. But as a result, some of the paper gets kind of waxy, as you can see on the dye-based Fude pen there. And it does happen with pigment-based inks as well. So, but you can see the Copics kind of don't really blend that well. They streak. It really doesn't lay down as well as you would think, but it erases well, pretty cleanly, and ink lines go down over the erased portions really well. Overall, it's a pretty dang good set of paper. This is actually what I've been using for my practice pieces recently, and I wouldn't be opposed if someone penciled something professionally and gave it to me to ink. I wouldn't be that disappointed, to be honest with you. It's pretty decent. Save the money, I guess, and go with it. Out of all the budget-friendly boards I've used, I actually prefer that paper better than the Canson Fanboy Artist Series stuff. The surface on that paper is not that durable either. It does hold ink a little bit better on the surface than the 200 series, but I prefer the surface texture. This is a little bit smoother for inking, and gives me a little bit better result and feel when inking than the Canson stuff does. The 400 series performs better with the way ink sits on it. Just to show you, using the same pen that I've been using. You can see I did some swatch tests on the 400. I swatch everything. But let's go to a clean sheet here real quick. And using the same brush pen that I've been using, I'll just lay down the black like I was. It's pretty dry. I have Rotring ink inside of these, and it doesn't lay down as well as the Rotring ink when I use a brush. It lays down a lot darker when I use the brush. But you can kind of see that the 400 is smoother. There's going to be overlapping due to the ink opacity, but it's a lot smoother on the 400. There's a lot less overlapping than on the 200 series. But as you can see, there's a difference in the whiteness, and that has to do with the way the paper's treated. I would say the 400 is probably a little bit more stable as far as how acid-free it is compared to the 200. The 200 may regain its acidity over time, But other than that, I mean, out of all the budget-minded blue-lined boards, really the only other thing that comes into mind would be like Blue Line Pro. And I would much, much, much rather use this than the Blue Line Pro. The only thing that the Blue Line Pro has on this is the thickness is more in the realm of what I like. But it does not handle ink nearly as well as this. In fact, it's probably the worst paper I've used as far as it handling ink. The only thing that won't bleed on that paper is pretty much Eon Vortex. So go buy some Strathmore 200 series, 11 by 17, and get to making some comics. That's my thoughts. It's a pretty dang good paper. Anyway, guys, as always, like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it. Leave some comments about what you would like to see in future videos. Like and subscribe. Again, like the video. But until next time, guys and gals, I'll see you later.